Greetings. In this lesson, we will solve areas of circle or circumference of circle given problem situations. Tom needs to buy mulch for the garden with the dimensions shown in the figure. For how much area does Tom need to buy mulch? So I'm dealing with area of a circle. However, if I look at this particular garden, it's not a full circle, it's half a circle. So since I'm going to be dealing with area of a circle, I know that my formula is going to be pi times r, or pi radius squared. However, because I'm only dealing with half of a circle, I will need to divide this by 2. And before I get started, this does tell me to round to the nearest tenth. So just re-emphasizing your 10th place. This is your dimes, your 10th place. If the number next door is 5 or greater, you will round this up. If it is below 5, it will stay as is. Keep that in mind. All right, so I know that I've been given a radius of 5.5. And for pi, I need to use 3.14. So if I substitute, this will say 3.14 times 5.5 times, right, 5.5. And once I take the product of that, I have to take half of that in order to get the area so that we can determine how much mulch that Tom needs to buy. So using my Desmos calculator, I would do 3.14 times 5.5. And let me go ahead and start off by putting that, well, I don't have to necessarily put it in parentheses, times 5.5. And that's going to give me 94.985. So this will be 94.985 divided by 2. So 94.985 divided by 2 is going to be 47.49. And let me write that here, 47.49. However, because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, remember you are underlining your 10th place, right? Here's your 10th place, and you are looking at the hundredths place. Since it's 5 or greater, I'm going to have to round that up. And this would equal 47.5. So this has an area of 47.5 yards, approximately, right, to the second power. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next problem. Manny is laying down cement for his basketball court. How much cement is needed to cover the court? So I can see once again that I have 2 shapes here. I definitely have a rectangle, right? And that's going to be my first shape. My first shape 1 is a rectangle. And my area formula says length times width or base times height. My second shape is a half of a circle, okay? So I know that's dealing with area of a circle, pi times r times r. So I'm going to go ahead and write pi times r, but I'm going to divide that by 2, okay? So let's go ahead, and if we're putting cement to cover this entire court, what am I solving for? Well, this tells me I'm solving for area, okay? So let's go ahead and handle the rectangle first. So my length and width, if I substitute, is 6 times 4, and that gives me an area of 24 meters squared just for this part. So what relationship does this side of the rectangle have to this part of the square since they share it? Well, again, I can see that this is the diameter, right, of the circle. So my diameter here is equal to 4. So what is half of my diameter? Well, that would be my radius would equal 2. And that's what I'm going to need for my formula. So I would substitute 3.14 times 2 times 2 divided by 2. So if I multiply all of that out, 3.14 times 2 times 2, oops, that's going to give me 12.56, and I'm going to have to divide that by 2 in order to figure out half of that circle, okay? 2 times 2 goes into that 4, and 2 times 8. So that gives me an area of 6.28, okay, meters squared. So the question says they want the total area since we're putting cement on all of this. So that means that I'm going to have to add the area of both shapes. So I have 24 plus 6.28. So if I put this down, that gives me 30.28 meters squared. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at one more problem. Here I have a group of students that are standing in a circle to play a game. The circle has a diameter of 10 meters. What is the circumference of the circle in meters? It's really important if given a word problem that you take the opportunity to actually draw the shape. So you have students that are standing in a circle. They've given you the diameter, which is equal to 10 meters, right? So label what is given to you. That you know you're having to figure out the distance around that circle. So if I look at circumference here, I can either use 2 times pi times r or pi times d. And I know that we've definitely been using pi times d. However, it's always important to find your radius of your circle. Well, I know my radius would be half of the diameter, so that's 5 meters. So the formula we're going to use is going to be 3.14, which is pi, times the diameter, in this case, which is 10. And if I multiply 3.14 times 10, that's going to give me 31.4 meters, and it's not squared because I'm dealing with the distance around the circle. Okay, 31.4 meters. Tomorrow we will work on the we do problems in class. However, please attempt to do some of these problems on your own and come with any questions that you might have. Have a great day.